It was a big moment last night for policy analyst Gary Palmer. He edged out State Senator Scott Beeson to gain 20% of the vote for the Republican nomination for the District 6 congressional seat. And we're happy to have Mr. Palmer with us this morning. Thanks so much for being here, and congratulations.
Thank you, and thanks for having me on this morning, Gina.
Well, there's not a lot of time between now and the runoff election. You are going up against somebody with a familiar name. What would you say is the biggest difference between you and your opponent, Paul DeMarco?
Well, Paul's got several years' experience in politics as a state legislator, but I think that's the biggest difference. I'm a newcomer to the political side, but I'm fairly well known on the policy side, having worked with legislators and the governor, and so I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I would say you're not a career politician, and you are closely tied to the Christian conservative base. Do you consider those your strengths, and how will you play on that?
I do. I think that the thing that sets me apart from everybody else is that I've worked on solving a lot of the problems that we're talking about, and I have a national network. I'm networked in every state, and I really think that what sets me apart as a candidate, not just in this race, but maybe even around the country, is that if I can get into Congress, I can get the messaging back to the local level, and I try to convince people that there are far more people watch their local media than they do their national media, and if you really want to turn the country around, you do it from the bottom up. You start at the local level.
And one of your campaign promises that you had made had to deal with Obamacare. You said you wanted to not only repeal it, but replace it. What would you replace Obamacare with?
Well, it's fairly simple. One, we need to expand health savings accounts, because it doesn't make sense to young people to be spending $300 or $400 a month on health insurance premiums that they don't think they'll ever use. So we can expand that, and they literally will spend their own money. And what they don't spend, they keep. We can set it up so that you can buy your insurance across state lines. You'll have portability. We'll set it up so that if you get a disease or have a terrible accident, your insurance company can't drop you. And we'll set up a national safety net that will provide insurance coverage for everyone else who either can't get insurance or can't afford it.
We only have a short time left, but between now and July 15th, what are you going to try to hammer home to the voters so that you do claim victory?
I'm going to try to hammer home to the voters that I'm a guy that they can send to Washington and that they can absolutely count on. I don't need the job. It's not a career for me. I will serve 5 terms and come home. That's a promise written in stone.
All right, Mr. Palmer, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Stephen?